He has just reached the Imperial Age though, so he's not got to worry about advancing quickly. Although if he loses too many boats, he's going to be seriously disadvantaged. Okay, so a lot of boats now moving out for CSC Jeffrey and CSC Bieber, being faced with Wrath, who is actually retreating, and he's no way is he going to be able to take out that many there. That is a very, very large navy, and Wrath is not going to stand a chance if he came into an encounter with them. Ares still holding this side, reduced in number though, and it looks like for the first time this game that the CSC clan is dominating the water. So the strategy of the players could be either to try and take complete control of the water and then land your soldiers onto their base, onto their terrain, sorry. Or the other alternative strategy is to cut through the centre once they reach Imperial Age, and Mars is researching Imperial Age now, which will enable his team to actually cut through here with the research of Siege Onagers. They're able to cut through trees extremely quickly. As we saw in the last video, Siege Onager is extremely powerful. Now Wrath is not going to be able to hold this at all, especially with the reinforcements here from CSC Bieber. And he is going to absolutely massacre this, and Wrath knows it. It says it's 2v1. Ares pushing out on the other side. I'm going to speed things up slightly whilst the players are getting massacred here. Speeding it up doesn't actually increase the speed that much, so I'm not too worried about that. Ares still in the bottom of the map, and he's completely missed these boats coming up here, which is probably intentional, as he's now able to head around the back and take out fishing boats if he so wishes. CSC Bieber though, with a lot of water control now, he does have a lot of boats out, galleons in fact, which are a lot stronger than the war galleys. So up here we have CSC Jeffrey completely dominating up here, and it's quite bad if you lose control of the water. Not only are the other players able to land soldiers on here, they're also able to take out your boats and destroy your docks. So if they get complete control of the water, there is absolutely no hope whatsoever. They'll be able to pick off at the back any units they get too close. For instance, when these players get their trade up, if the boats are in range, they'll be able to pick off the trade carts extremely quickly. So now we have CSC Jeffrey and CSC Bieber pushing right the way back. However, Ares is able to hold for the time being in this area, although it does look like he's not going to be able to hold it for much longer. Blue player now with a lot of control on the water, as well as CSC Bieber, who's dominating both sides. He's also just researched chemistry. That's why he has the fiery arrows or fiery missiles there. Chemistry is a really good research to get. It enables you to build hand cannoneers, and it enables you to add extra attack to your boats and siege weapons, which without chemistry do a lot less damage. Also, the Turkish civilization, while we're here on chemistry subjects, Turkish civilization get free chemistry. They don't actually have to research it. And Ares is saying that he thinks that it should be a good game. However, he has got quite a large navy there, just patrolling up and down. And that's another thing as well. Patrolling your units means that they attack when another enemy unit comes in range, which is quite nice. Gives them a small advantage without having to actually watch over them to instruct them to attack. Okay, so Mars now starting to build a navy. Could be considered a little late, however it's not going to be too bad for them, as he's able to drive this back now. He's also researched chemistry, so he has the extra attack on his boats there. Okay, so they're all now being pushed back, and it's still pretty even. A massive push now from CSC Bieber and CSC Duck on the right hand side. It doesn't look like Ares is going to be able to hold that at all. Trying to speed time up and it's not going very well. There we go. Okay, so water control now pretty much equal once again. And it's just a matter of time now before one of the teams break and the other team. Resource wise, there's still a lot of gold on the map. There is a lot of villagers collecting wood for all of the players here, and that's in order to pump out the boats as fast as they are doing. As you can see, all of the players are likely to be very low on wood. They're doing a good job of keeping their wood count very low. And this late in the game, they're all doing quite well of spending their resources actually. Okay, so Ari is now researching the Imperial Age, even though he is losing this battle quite rapidly actually. Researching Imperial Age for Ares then. Where are we? Wrath, on the other hand, is still in the Castle Age, and he'll probably be looking to advance once he can try and gain more control of the water. And it wouldn't surprise me if he advances very soon. Once he gets to 1,000 food, he might be planning to advance. He might, however, just be saving his food up for something else. But it wouldn't surprise me if he advanced very soon. The other team, we have researching Imperial Age for Blue here. CSC Bieber was Imperial Age quite a while ago, and he's now able to get as much technology as he can. CSC Jeffrey is also researching Imperial Age, and that just leaves Wrath to finally, yes, he is also researching Imperial Age. So all of these players now be going to Imperial extremely quickly. And while the players are just having a big water battle and not much is going on, I want to ask you what you want to see on the channel. So if you could tell me what kind of matches you want to see. As you can tell, this is quite different to what I've usually been bringing you with the 1v1 random matchups. I bought you a deathmatch game yesterday, and that went down really well. I'm really happy with how many views that's got, and I'm extremely impressed. I'm glad you enjoyed that video. So yeah, tell me what you want to see. I've had a request for 2v2 and 3v3 matchups, and that's what I'm bringing you now. So, you know, if you want to see something in particular, let me know, because I'll be more than happy to do that. Also, with the deathmatch video yesterday, I really appreciate all the views and all the support that everyone's given me. You know, it makes it a lot more worthwhile for me to do, as, you know, it feels like my efforts are being paid off. And so yeah, I really appreciate it, so thanks a lot. And back to the game, it's still pretty much stalemate on the water. However, CSC Bieber is withdrawing, even though they have a massive lead on boats in this area. And that is a lot of boats. I don't even want to count how many they have there. Players are nearing their population cap. It wouldn't surprise me if they reach 200 population very soon. Mars has already reached full population. And by the looks of it, he's saying that he's going to build paladins, which means that they're probably going to be pushing through the centre here. And that could be interesting. If one of these teams were to break through the middle of the map, it really doesn't matter about water control anymore, because they've invested so heavily in boats and so heavily in boat technology that if another player was to break through the centre, they have nothing to combat it, as all their forces are on the boat, on the water. And if we actually look at all the players here, none of them have any military buildings other than docks. So if one of the teams were to break through, the other team would have to seriously react extremely quickly in order to kind of make up for the lost ground. They have no researches on technology for military units on the field. So if they were to break through, it could really tip the game here. And there is a hell of a lot of boats being completely massacred on the water. Mars and Ares trying to push through this side, not really getting anywhere. And all of the players are teched up to galleons now. Yep, they're all using galleons, so they're even on the water apart from numbers, and now it really is a numbers game. The faster they can produce these boats, the faster they can take control of the water. Buildings that are very effective against ships are towers and castles and bombard towers. And any of those placed around this area would be able to pick off boats very quickly, as they'd have a boat attack bonus. And as you can see, CSC Duck has actually placed a castle there. There isn't one on the other side, and if both teams were to really put a lot of castles and towers around this area, then they'd be able to take out the boats fairly quickly. As you can see, that boat did no damage whatsoever there. I think that was 2 damage, and they're able to take out the boats extremely quickly. So they're very good defensive units, and it looks like, yeah, that's right, Wrath is going for another castle here, which will enable him to provide a lot of defense around this area. Okay, and the map is pretty much covered in boats now, so it's quite a stalemate in this area. However, when they decide to push, it really is just a matter of who can break the line first. Here we go. So Mars is now getting some stables up, and that indicates that he's going to be going for a push through the centre of the map. So one of these players is going to have to get some siege onagers out to cut through, and they're also able to produce a lot of units from a lot of buildings. So water control is still firmly in favour of nobody. They're all just completely going at each other on the waterfront, and it really is quite a stalemate on the water. So until one of these teams can actually break the other's line on the water, it's